Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Report. Yes, it's late because Nice Bus didn't show up again. So, anyway, very cold night out there. Still kind of blustery out there. And as far as the sky goes today, we had a lot of that cirrus. There was times where it kind of moved to the south. Here's one image where it's off to the south, but this is what we were dealing with most of the day. You could see we're on the northern edge of that cirrus right there. So, unfortunately, yeah, still dealing with a cloud cover today. So, no, I didn't get to the Pine Barrens because the clouds and the wind was just still going pretty bad. And there's still, you could see a little bit of, you could see the snow cover off to the north, but there's still actually a little bit of snow cover in Long Island from what I've heard, at least on the North Shore, from what people have told me. I haven't seen it myself, but kind of surprising considering all the rain we had the other day. But other than that, if you were... this morning we had some, breaks of clear sky. Of course, if you were in New England, you may have had to deal with some stratocumulus, but other than that, you didn't have to deal with the cirrus and the jet junk that we did. You can see that cirrus streaking over us throughout much of the day today. And unfortunately, it will be with us tomorrow, too, in even a bigger way. Looking at the current satellite, of course, now it's beautifully clear out. Of course, if it was daytime, I would have been in the Pine Barrens, but the winds have relaxed a little bit, and it would have been nice. But no, unfortunately, not in the Pine Barrens. I'll show you what it looked like tonight because the sky did clear out, and it's really frustrating because the sky is so beautiful tonight. Yeah, there's a pine that I took a picture of there when you could see the stars. Here's another picture of that nice clear sky that we have right now and some stars. And another photo right there of the clear skies and Venus, and yeah, you can see, yeah, it's nicely clear now, but it's nighttime, so it doesn't do me any good. Yeah, that's pretty much what we got. So looking at the satellite, you can see we're clear now, but it's not going to stay that way because we have this storm system here that it will dive to our south, but we're still going to get the clouds from it. And going to the weather and hazards map, you can see where all the winter weather is from this storm. Well to the south. And then we still have those these freeze warnings that are still in cold weather advisories and extreme cold warnings that are out in certain areas. So that kind of tells you where the cold is. So if I put observations here, and I'm just going to put temperatures on here, so just show the air temperatures. You can see where the really cold air is. It's in the upper Midwest where it's well below zero, 627 below in some of these areas. That's really extreme cold for that area, and yeah, that's almost too cold to hike in. But even in Oklahoma, places like 1 degrees. Let's see, 1 degree is at 1 degree in Wichita, Kansas. So it's colder in Kansas than it is here. They only got up to 12, and the low is 1. So the low is the current temperature. So it's colder in Kansas than it is here. It's colder in Kansas than it is in Boston. And colder in Kansas than it is in here, and even parts of upstate New York. That's a real, and even as you go into Texas, the cold air goes all the way down. It's 17 in Brownwood. So, yeah, it's the cold air just dives straight south. You can see where it is, but it's not over us. We're not in the core of it, but at least the temperatures have dropped somewhat. We are in the low 20s right now. So it's 21 degrees at Islip. Dew point is -1, so we're in that Arctic air. This is Arctic air. It's just we're not in the heart of it. We got up to 28 degrees today, and we had a maximum wind gust of 39 miles an hour at Islip. Still some pretty windy conditions today, especially earlier on in the day. We had a lot of wind gusts here. You could see them all here, a lot of them over 30 miles an hour. And if you were out east, it was even worse. Let's look at West Hampton here. 21 degrees with a dew point of -1. And at West Hampton, you could see West Hampton earlier on again. Very windy conditions. They had some gusts up to over 40, I think, over there at West Hampton. Not mistaken. We'll look at that. But you could see very windy conditions today. Yeah, there's a gust of 40. Yeah, very windy conditions today across the area. And still dealing with these winds. Still dealing with them. Not damaging wind, but when it's cold, it really pushes you when you're trying to walk around. Highs in the upper 20s today in most of the area, almost the entire area, and lows probably the current temperatures. So I don't know if these might be the morning lows, but around 19 degrees for a low. No radiational cooling tonight with that wind. So I don't think those lows were actually from this morning. I think we should get colder than that tonight, I think. Tonight will probably be the coldest night and still got the gale warning. And then look at this. What is that? A freezing spray advisory? Yeah, it is. It is. So when you have a lot of wind, that's what happens if you're out on the water. And if you're in Provincetown, it's 25 degrees, the dew point at 10. And they had a wind gust up to 45 miles an hour today. So, yeah, still dealing with the wind. And, in fact, parts of New England still have wind advisories in effect, as you see here. Still dealing with some wind advisories. And let's see if we can find Mount Washington in here. Because this, if you want to really see how bad, if you it's uninhabitable over there right now. If I can find the observation from Mount Washington. Not sure if it's going to pop up in here. I know it's in the White Mountains. So, there it is. Mount Washington, 15 below, west-northwest wind at 75, gusting to 90. And that's not even as bad as it's been because if you take a look at the maximum wind gust, 135 miles an hour. These are some of the winds that they've been dealing with. 96 gusting to 104. Look at this. This was yesterday. How about a west wind at 133, gusting to 143. At 9 below. So, you don't even know. What is it going to feel like? It's going to feel like it's 60 below. That's insanity. So, yeah, you don't want to be in Mount Washington now. That's for sure. That's not a place. But there are people there. There's an observing station there. So, yeah, absolutely crazy. And look at Stony Brook, still gusting to 49, and they gusted up to 57 today. I know it's the top of the hospital. But still, I mean, this wind is incredible. It's just the wind machine just continues. And the reason why, when we look at the weather map, moving it over to the surface analysis, you see we got a pressure gradient that's still there. So it's lightening up a little bit, but still, it's still there. There's your high, the Arctic high. Center of it's still well up on the Canadian border with North Dakota. So the center of it's still quite a ways away. You can see there's your stall front. You're going to have your lows forming along it. And here's your winter weather in the south, and that is going to be moving to the south of us. So let's look at our statistics today for islip. And you'll see a high of 28 and a low of 20 puts us 10 degrees below normal for the day. And we've had 3.65 inches of liquid equivalent this month, so that's over the above normal of the 2.02. And month-to-date snowfall, we're slightly above normal, 6.8 inches. But for the season, we're definitely below normal. So let's go and take a look and see what the weather's going to be like for the next day or so. Again, because I'm running late, it's going to be a little bit of abbreviated. So I usually don't make a long update in the midweek period anyway, but this is the GFS here, and you see that high pressure kind of stays right over there. So the cold air continues to dive straight south. We have this low pressure system in the Gulf here. It moves to the south of us, stays offshore. We don't really see much, maybe a little bit of a flurry Thursday afternoon to the evening. And then finally get that center of that high, finally starts moving closer to us so we can get some clear skies on Friday and maybe even into parts of Saturday. But I'm not going to go over those days too much in detail. We're just going to go over the next 48 hours in detail for you. So let's get the HRRR. And for tomorrow, you see there's the snow off to the south. Stays there. Kind of just, there's the storm system. It just pulls east. So you can see it just pulls well to the south and the east. So we don't see anything, maybe a couple of flurries, and that's it. Thursday evening, that's it. Because the air is so dry, it's being suppressed down to the south. So if we look at the dew points and wind flow through tonight, we still have that northwest wind below zero dew points, and those dew points maybe come up a little bit tomorrow with northwest winds continuing, though they won't be as strong as today. Then as we get into Thursday, the winds turn more northerly as the storm system passes by, but again, it's completely suppressed. Looking at your temperatures, tonight we're going to probably drop into the mid-teens by morning, so mid to low to mid-teens in most areas. I don't think we'll see any radiational cooling with that wind. And then tomorrow, high temperatures similar to today, upper 20s probably. And then at night, it'll probably drop into the teens, though we will have to watch for cloud cover because that could hold the temperatures up a little bit. Though the cloud cover I think that we're going to be having mostly is going to be high and maybe some mid. And then Thursday, we'll have probably overcast conditions, but we're still not making it above freezing. So we are going to have a period of days where it's going to be below freezing. So we're going to probably see some freezing of lakes. Though, again, I have seen no freezing of lakes when I was at Rockville Center. So look at that. You'll see that the lake is still water there. Yeah, that's still all water though. Look, you can see little bits of ice around the trees and stuff. So yeah, this was all taken at night because the sky was junky during the day. But the issue tomorrow, obvious cloud cover, upper level moisture. So if I go and I hit this, you'll see that we have some up. Actually, these are, these are not that close together. This is 16Z. This is 10 o'clock. Actually, that's 11 o'clock. So I'm hoping maybe we can out some clear skies before the junk rolls in around noon, maybe in the morning, maybe. Perhaps we'll look at some models and see. So let's do that. We'll go to the RGEM. Being that it's late, I should have the newer RGEM in too as well. So let's look at that. So this is tomorrow. Well, not so fast. The RGEM kind of rolls it in on us. This is the 0Z. It rolls it in on us already. Like at sunrise, it already rolls in. So it sucks. If you're to the north, you'll have a nice clear day. Massachusetts, Maine, at least a good part of New Hampshire. Cape Cod, you may have to watch out for ocean effect, but other than that, it should be clear at least for the first part of the day. But for us, we're going to have those increasing high clouds thickening. And then oddly enough, look at that. It tries to clear it out there again at night. It's always clearing it out at night. That doesn't do me any good because then guess what? More clouds roll in again us on Thursday. But finally, by Friday, we can finally have, it looks like a clear day, finally, before, more cirrus rolls in on us on Saturday. But still, it looks like we'll have a clear day then. But, I mean, you think with all this cold air around, you think we'd have a string of clear days. When I was a kid, when you had an air mass like this, you never had cirrus around. I mean, I remember cold fronts coming through those. Whenever you had cold air like this, it was always crystal clear. But it's not like that anymore because of climate change. So that's one model. That's the RGEM. Let's go and see if the NAM brings us any better luck for tomorrow. Yeah, it wants to roll it in right around 15Z as well. So unfortunately, it's probably going to roll right in on us for tomorrow, and then Thursday obviously we'll have the clouds, and I will look at this other model with the storm because I know the NAM is a little different with the storm track. It's still too far offshore to really do anything, but it does bring a little bit of light snow on the Thursday night, perhaps. That might accumulate to something. Let's see, total snowfall, just for fun. Yeah, it would just be a coating of 1 inch if we got that. It really wouldn't be much, and that's the most bullish model we have on the storm. I can look at the HDRPS as well, but I don't think it's going to go far enough out. I only have the 18Z. I don't think it's going to take us far enough. It does. It's offshore. It's not coming up here. So that's what we got going on. I'll go to the Ventu sky and just show you we will be getting a break from the winds tomorrow. The winds won't be as bad. So there'll probably be more clouds. You'll see the wind gusts won't be, they'll only be gusting to like 18. So this is a little more manageable. But unfortunately, by noon we're socked in. Even by 10 we're socked in. This is kind of interesting because the other model we were looking at didn't show it, but it says we're socked in with the high clouds. So, unfortunately, it's a beautiful, clear night, and if it was during the day, hey, it would be great. But unfortunately, the timing just didn't work out. So that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather report. Have a good night.